Hello, hello, everyone. My name is Thomas Burnett. That's DeMonte Weems. This is
Hello,
Train
hello.
Discuss, where we are more than happy to take your order.
Oh,
Because
yes.
tonight we are talking about the cult classic Good Burger, which I had not seen before, where DeMonte had recommended it to me.
Oh my God, you went into this when I was seeing Good Burger for once? Oh,
I had never
jeez.
seen Good Burger before. I told you that. It's like, oh my gosh. The only thing I
I
know was, hey, my name's Ed. Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. May I take your order? And of course, I think I know what some of these words mean. It was an experience to say for sure. So, Demonte, before we go too much further ahead, why don't you go ahead and tell some of the history you have with this film? Because you said you had this film for a long time.
I've Good Burger is one of those movies that you watch as a child and you repeatedly watch it on repeat. I've watched this movie so many times when I was younger. Like, no, not a lie. So many times that I honestly still think I can do this, but I used to be able to recite every word in that movie directly on scene. Um, I love this movie too so much that when we actually moved back to Georgia, my mother, I feel like, misplaced it with finger quotations here because I could no longer find it to watch. And
That's fine, man. And I
it
was
is
basically the exact same way with my family and The Sound of Music, which I now regret, but okay,
yeah, it
it
happens.
happens. So,
I
you
I
were how old when you saw this movie for the first time?
um so it came out in 97. Um
Mm
so that's 2 years after my birthday. I want to say that I watched it 97 somewhere. Like I had it, definitely watched it sometime in 97, and I'm pretty sure I owned a copy of on VHS from, like, I want to say, either, if it's not the end of 97, definitely in 1998, because oh boy, I watched that movie a lot. Um
From what I hear, it sounds like it was a near religious experience.
you could say that. It was just that movie, um every child has that movie or that thing, that, or anything, honestly, that keeps them captivated. Mine was video games at the time, and Good Burger, of course. I had a couple of others. I was a huge fan of Rocket Powers and Rugrats, like most 90s kids. You had your Dougs, you had, all the others, but for whatever reason, all that and Good Burger was probably my all-time favorite. And I grew up really not liking a lot of shows that had actual actors in it. So I found that, for whatever reason, Good Burger just absolutely captivated me. That and Ace Ventura. But yes,
In Ace
love both of them.
Ventura, why am I not surprised? I'm not saying it's a
Wait,
bad
you
thing. I'm
please tell
just
me
saying
you've
I'm not
seen both
surprised.
Ace Venturas, Thomas. Don't make me
I've
have to
seen the
rewatch
first
your
one
second
and I'm like,
movie.
okay, I'm not surprised, but uh, Jim Carrey is both a fantastic and awful actor at the same time in that film. He
Oh
both
yes,
talks straight out of his ass and acts straight out of his ass.
oh yes. But Child Demonte loves him. I will say that, unlike Good Burger, Ace Ventura did not stick with me as much. It wasn't bad per se at all. Don't get me wrong, I definitely had a good, like, 5 years of probably being able to recite the first and second Ace Ventura movies, but Good Burger is that movie that I've probably watched, even after the VHS. If I found it, I'd always just watch it, no matter what part of it is in. Whereas Ace Ventura, I would, if I have the chance, which I still had the tapes for both Ace Venturas, I would, watch it from the beginning, where it's not like I just jump in and Ed's already doing the things that he does in that movie, and I'm just like, oh, okay, let's sit down and watch this.
That is
So,
something I can understand because the movie is like a hour and a half long and it's wall to wall comedy all the way.
It's great comedy.
It
Very
is.
great comedy. Especially
I
for,
ca- I
I'd
would
say
say
for what it is. I'll put it that way.
for what it is, it is very good, and it basically hits every single point that I wanted to hit. In fact, when I was done with it, I literally went onto the Roger Ebert review site, and he gave it 2 stars. And at the very end, he said, "Look, I'm not the person who is gonna love this movie, but if you are the person who loves that movie, you're gonna love it a lot." I'm like, that's completely understandable. But I will say that the opening scene with the hamburgers and the eyeballs and the "Don't leave us, don't let us go" was just. I was like, okay, is this a Nickelodeon MTV movie where it's basically made for stoners? I'm not
Um,
saying you're being wrong, but come on.
I think so. I can agree with that statement. I do think that it's slightly made for the radical youth, I guess I should call them.
Radical.
But it stuck with me. I mean, I was skateboarding around the time too, so
Huh.
I guess that's maybe another reason why I liked it. I did rollerblade. I was never good at rollerblading though, so oh geez, that's
And
a lot
I
of
was always
falls.
very, very way too lanky when I was young, and because I was constantly growing. And as you can see me now, well, you can't see me right now because my camera's not on. I'm 6'6", and the entire time my friends were like, "Hey, let's skateboard," and the whole time I was like, "I can't balance on the dang thing." So I was never into that trend.
Oh
But
no.
I always liked looking at it because I'm like, it's so cool, and I can't do it.
Oh
Therefore,
no.
it's
Am I
cool.
gonna have to teach you too, Travis or Thomas? Oh god, I just
Well,
had
you
this
gonna teach me
conversation
how
with
to
other people
skateboard?
at work. Yes, I can it's okay. Put it this way. If I teach you, you can't be afraid to fall. That's the first thing that I've ever told anyone. Because once I stopped being afraid to fall, that's when I actually was able to skateboard myself.
All right, that sounds like some pretty good advice. But yeah, again, being my height, I stand up and I'm somewhat afraid to fall. Let's face it. I go down for a squat and go up and it's like, oh my gosh, heights. Wait, what? This is just my normal height. I am. I can make you no guarantee that won't be a hard lesson. You might have to go, no, no, Daniel, you must do wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off.
Yeah,
You must paint the fence
it's
up
something to
down.
do in a day. If it makes you feel better, now if this makes you feel slightly better, Allison has not learned to ride a bicycle yet, which is
Really?
astonishing to me.
That
Like
is astonishing.
I honestly have never met anyone who has not learned to ride a bicycle besides her. I've everyone is at least well, some people doesn't like it and things like that, but I've
Yeah,
never
well,
met
but every
someone.
single person, well, the traditional saying is it's like riding a bike. Even if you haven't rode one in years, you can still ride one.
Yeah, that's exactly how I found out that she doesn't. I made that. We were talking about something, and I was like, "It's like riding a bike," and she was like, "Oh, well, I wouldn't know how to do that." And then she proceeded to tell me the story that I'm not allowed to tell during this because I it would be very embarrassing. Actually, it's not, but to her, it's embarrassing. So I will respect her boundaries.
Okay, it's embarrassing, but I'm going to assume for you, you think it's very, very cute. So I'll just leave that for the afterwards.
I
But
think.
let's go
Oh, go
ahead
ahead.
and start to talking more and more of about Good Burger. And this time I actually went to IMDb and brought up the plot. So I'm just going to go ahead and read it all out.
Go for it.
Dexter Reed, a high schooler, is forced to get a summer job at a fast food restaurant called Good Burger after causing a car wreck by his school teacher, Mr. Wheat. So Dexter must pay off his teacher by working very hard at Good Burger. Meanwhile, things turn worse when Mondo Burger, a mammoth fast food chain, opens across the street. It looks good. It looks like Good Burger is going to be history for good. Now it is up to Dexter and his new friend Ed, the not so bright cashier, to save the day, as they develop a delicious special secret sauce that Ed created brings hundreds of new customers to their door and makes their new competition desperate to steal the recipe and all of their customers. Now, would you say that is a very cut and dry eye description of what the first half of Good Burger is all about?
Yeah, I'd say honestly, perfect. I don't think anyone can explain it better than that. Honestly, that summary is done really well. Huh.
Yeah. Well, let's face it. I got that straight from IMDb. So basically, there is one per person there, or one person on the internet that just sits down and go, I'm going to describe a movie as simply as I can to make sure that we can go forward with whatever that someone can at least get an accurate description. But half the time you're not being told, wait, this is a comedy, wait, this is a tragedy, wait a minute, this is something you need to enjoy intoxicated. Like say the first time you watched 2001 One: A Space Odyssey, because the first time I watched that, I fell asleep like 3 times, but now every single time I watch it, I'm like, I'm entranced. So it's very weird. But I will say, this film, I did not hate it. I actually ended up really liking it, but I would not recommend it to someone who wants something with any, well, huge depth to it, because while Dexter and Ed do have a certain amount of depth, the enemy Mondo Burger, they are just hilarious in all of the wrong ways, because the leader, I forget his name, he is not a corporate wage slave. He's not a corporate mastermind. He's a freaking sportsman, and who thinks making burgers and making money is more important than exercising or actually trying to win.
So, Thomas,
it's like a bad guy from.
You forgot the name? Oh no!
Of course, I forgot his name because I saw this a week ago, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I still remember half of this.
You don't throw Kurt in the grinder. Kurt throws you in the grinder.
Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. That is too good.
But yes. Sorry, I had to interrupt there to make that little quiff of a joke.
Yeah,
there.
but this film in so many ways is very quotable. For example, for Kurt, I am both your mother and your father. I bet he looks weird naked.
My personal favorite joke, which is now my personal favorite joke of this movie, because like I said, 2 weeks ago I actually watched it again showing Allison it. And that's why I recommended it to you, because she had a blast with it. Personal favorite joke, slight spoiler alert. In the van, when Kurt's trying to get the recipe from Ed and be all chummy with him, and he's like arguing about his name. He's like, I'm Kurt. He's like, I'm Ed. He's like, I'm aware. He's like, I thought you were Kurt. And that just, that murdered me. I don't know why. It just completely ended me for the night.
And then of course there's also one more part in that one scene where I saw that and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. Where it's like, okay, so right now you work at Good Burger for $5 an hour. How would you like to come work for me at Mondo Burger for $10 an hour? It goes over, I don't know. I'm just gonna hold $10 up to my ear and squeeze it together. It sounds like
it sounds kind of like
oh my gosh, that was just hilarious. And because the movie, when I was watching it, I was like, for a film that I believe went straight to VHS, it did have a surprisingly well planned out budget, because from what I saw back in 1997, it had like an $8.5 million budget, but they used that very well for having the costumes and sets be very simple, but you had enough money for car chases at the very end and just throwing all the ice cream out the back.
All right, here's a question for you. Do you think they did that all in one shot?
Did all of what in one shot?
The tossing of the ice cream. Or, well, not one shot, like one take, excuse me. I guess I should say.
Like one take for what? The tossing of the ice cream, or the ice cream going on the windscreen? I would assume maybe, but I wouldn't know.
I can't remember. I just was curious on what you thought. I used to know this knowledge. See? getting old, dumping away my knowledge of the Good Burger. um, but I want to say off the top of my head, don't quote me on this. But I do think they did do that all in one day. And then of course they went through and they just literally for a minute threw at the windshield, if I remember correctly, because I remember that being like a thing when they knocked out a road in California. I'm pretty sure it was shot in California. I can't remember. For sure.
One sec, I'll check.
But yeah. So overall, what did you like? What didn't you like? What'd you love? You know, things along those lines.
All right, the story I actually thought was very very basic, but I thought it was very very well put together because Ed is very very much like Luffy from One Piece. I'm not too sure if you read or watched this far ahead, but in One Piece there's Boa Hancock, a lady so beautiful both men and women bow before her glory. And when she activates her devil fruit powers, any person who has any lust in their heart for her will be turned straight into stone, which is very, very difficult. In fact, one guy, he literally had to stab his hand to stop himself from doing that. But Luffy does not get romance, because canonically, his true love is of adventure, which is very, very not nice. But yeah, again, that means Boa Hancock cannot romance her. But in the very end, Luffy still does defend her. And oh my gosh, I'm having feelings. It's like, oh my gosh, she's sick. What is she sick with? She's lovesick. That does not happen with Ed and the girl. I really do forget her name. And basically she goes, it's like, hey, would you like to go out? Sure, I'd love to go out, but I'm at work right now. No, do you want to go on a date? And just the breathy voice of Ed not getting it. But Dexter's on the side going, what the heck is going on here, man? You got a date hot, way too hot for you, but okay. And that very moment where she's like goes back to Kurt, and they're like, okay, I quit, man. There's not enough money in the world for me to pretend to like him anymore. That's something I really really like. Well, thing is, really, the characters they had there were actually so strong that I actually do still remember the two characters, Ed and Dexter, and Monique, because she was actually very 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 surprising, because Dexter's like, oh my god, I shall like her because she's funny, she's smart, and Ed's like, she's hot. It's like, yeah, she's hot. And I'm sitting there in the back going, yeah, of course you'd like her because she's amazing. Yeah, and exactly. then there's Dexter, because when I saw him in that one line of what was it? Oh, so your mom lets you use her car when she's out of town. Puts on the sunglasses. Nope. Going, oh. It's like, okay, this man's a bit of a rebel, and I love it, but that's also the thing that leads to him getting into a car wreck. And while Mr. Reed's going, well, I'd hate to put a black man in jail, but the thing is, my car's wrecked, so I gotta call the police. No, I'll pay for it. And it's just, in so many ways, the plot is basically so bulletproof. Well, except for the point where they get thrown in the psycho ward, but they're that psycho chick. Oh my gosh, yeah. I can't believe how much I laughed at her. Like, you're the greatest psycho I've ever known. It's like, you're the prettiest psycho I've ever known. I forget what it was. It's like, that's just perfect.
Let's see if I can pull this out of my head. Specifically, she's like, you're the craziest person I've ever met, and she's like, you're our most beautiful crazy person. Oh god, I'm messing it up now too. But no, it's yeah, that scene. Oh, how did you feel about the dance moves?
Let's face it, I did not expect those cops to be so funky. But let's face it, Ed, I expect him to be amazing, because he's Ed. And speaking of Ed, when we were speaking off of the podcast, I was simply saying there going, what exactly do I want to think about Ed? Because he's not smart, but yet again, he's basically 100% happy because the only thing he really wants on for himself is to work at Good Burgers. So therefore, there's no way in anyone like say for example Mondo Burger can actually bribe him to leave, and the only thing he ever wants from people is to, hey man, let's go up to the roof and hang out, which is well hilarious because I was actually speaking to some coworkers at a restaurant, and it was like, oh yeah, like 10 years ago, no, it was very common for people to still go up to the roof and just smoke weed. I'm like, okay, I'm glad I came here now when that's not allowed, because that just seems weird, my friend. That's just weird.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where like people wanted to hang out, but it was like, nah, I don't want you in my household here, so let's not have you at my household. But we're both at work, so might as well while we're here.
That's nice. That's nice.
That at least that's my thought process on it.
All right. And I get that, but what the thing is, when I was watching Ed, my mind always came back to Forrest Gump, and most people say, oh, but Forrest Gump, he's not a very good representation of people who actually have, say, Down syndrome or are just quote unquote mentally slow. I'm like, yes, he does not perfectly represent them, but he is one thing that not even these people can deny. He is 100% purely human, because every single moment he's there, you know his thought process. Sir, for Private Gump, what is your point in this argument? My point is to do whatever you tell me to, drill sergeant. God damn it, Gump! You must have an IQ of 160. Which is just hilarious long term, because you're like, we know he has an IQ of 75, but when he's right there with the Marines, he is the smartest man in the world, which is just so cool to watch. But then when his best friend Bud does actually die in his arms, he says in the film, and then Bub said something I don't think I'll ever forget for the rest of my life. Forrest, I'm scared. And he simply dies right there, and Forrest Jed just stops speaking, and it cuts back to him on the bench looking over, and in that very moment, you're just like, yeah, this guy's not an idiot, he's not very smart, but he is about as human as you can get. I don't really get as much of that from Ed, but... well, it's really hard to describe, because he is more like a very well trained dog, where he is just loved by every single person he comes across, except for people who hate dogs, which they do exist. I'm very ashamed to know that I know some of these people. They are known as cat ladies.
We must hunt them. This is a witch hunt. I demand their names. We must take these people out. If you don't love dogs, there's a problem.
They also are allergic to dogs, so they have an excuse.
Tiny one. It's okay. To give you an example of why I say it's a tiny one. One of my good friends here, he literally is allergic to cats. I think he's like one level off from being deathly allergic or something like that. I don't entirely know how bad it is. But I do know he has a bad allergy with him, because oh boy, he sneezes a lot. He right now has 3 cats, and one of them was a stray that he allowed to come in.
So he just lives with sneezing. He just lives with it.
He takes his allergy medication in the morning. and like that, to make sure he has to. If he doesn't, oh, it gets bad. But he sneezes away, and he loves his cats. Like, he treats them like his children. They jump down on his keyboard. He's like, "Stop it! I can't see. I have to right click 1,000 times while playing WoW." And then his fiance loves the cats as well. They're really good. Their names are Lilo, Stitch, and I can't remember the last one. It's Axel, actually, because I remember from Kingdom Hearts. That's where they named that one. But yes, he's a level 2000 rogue, because if he doesn't want to be seen, you will not find that cat in the house. But yeah, sorry.
That makes sense.
That was my little tangent about that. So,
all right. And how about you, Demonte? What else do you just love about this film? Because there's a lot to love, but there are just a few things to hate. And let's get to those later.
Let me think here. I can't say that I don't love the entire movie. I have one part of the movie that even to this day, I didn't like, and it's not a lot. But when they get thrown into the actual psych ward for whatever reason, I get that, like, and maybe that's the point of the shot, maybe that's the point of the scene. I just get this very melodramatic feel, and it kind of puts me in a sleepy mood from this high-paced, I guess you can say high-paced movie where there's not really much sleepers going on. It's joke after joke after joke because they want to keep bombarding you with the comedy, and if not just straight comedy, they try their head at letting not Kenan Thompson, but Kel, because I can't remember his last name off the top of my head, the character who plays Ed, the actor who plays Ed, they let him just improv a lot of the stuff. In fact, I'm pretty sure they let a lot of the main kids, because most of the actors in there were from all of that, and they just let them improv everything. Just
Makes
about
sense.
At least with the lines and some of the mannerisms that they did with their characters.
All right.
But yeah, that's probably it. Just the beginning, though. After that, once again, joke starts bombarding, and it does become a better shot. And it's actually my favorite part, because I think it's hilarious to think of the main character beating up 2 guards while doing dance moves.
Very true. And the fact that you sit back and go, you want to find a chick that's crazy about you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And
never forget,
and
leave it up to Ed to make friends with a psycho killer.
Yeah, that's true. There's that one part that's like, okay, these windows here, can bust us through them? Yes, I can. And he just picks up Dexter and throws him out, and then Ed jumps through the window right next to her. Is like, then what was the point of throwing Dexter through it? What was the point of that? I know it's something you're trying to avoid, but it's like that moment from an action film where an actor's holding a gun and it looks like it's completely flopping around because it's made of rubber, because it actually is made of just pure rubber that's painted to look like a gun. But it's a moment where it's like, it's absolutely silly, and it doesn't breaks continuity way too much, but it's still something you love because it makes it look hilarious. Right.
Oh, God.
But
yes.
Now let's go ahead and move on to the things we did not like. And looking back at this, there were quite a few jokes I saw that were just a bit cringy. Like when they go to Mondo Burger dressed as ladies, and they have the moment of, oh, now get your hands off of me, you prude, how dare you. That was hilarious. But then when they strip the clothes off of them and it has lingerie underneath, I'm like, why is this here? It's hilarious, but it's just awkward to think about. Where did he get it?
It's like, where did he get this? Why does he own this? Is this his mother's? It starts making you think these types of questions. Yeah, things like that. But Oh yeah, no, I understand. That part did cringe me. Oh, that part still cringes me a little bit.
It's very cringy. That and the props, like I said, can be very very stylized. But for example, the huge Monadodo burgers, where we're using the chemical to make it like five hockey pucks on top of each other, and people are realizing, oh wait, and this is still costing the exact same amount, besides the fact that it should be costing twice as much because there's 5 times more meat here. Does not raise even a single person's red flag of, I wonder what they put in this meat. There's a moment
Exactly.
of that, and I'm pretty sure you and I know this very well. Restaurants are very very they're very heavily regulated by many different health departments. So for me as a working adult, I look at that and go, I don't buy the fact that no one with even an ounce of morality in their body would have been looking at that and say, yeah, you know what, I might as well take it. Because I'm not too sure if you heard about this controversy, because a while ago people were saying, I have a theory about the pizza at Chuck E. Cheese. They're
Oh,
taking
I
the
know that
old
one.
slices is from the pizza and putting it on new pizza just to save money. And many people are just saying, dude, the employees there have not confirmed it, and they get paid minimum wage. There's no way they wouldn't blab about it immediately, because
Exactly.
many people just were working there for extra cash. They are not going to keep a secret like that. So it's one of those moments
Exactly.
of like, it stretches the believability, but at the very end where everything gets blown up to monstrous proportions, it's not something that makes a huge difference.
Well, um, you know, I can't remember. Here, I do will have to say, I think when did the newest food regulations go? Because McDonald's with the old pink slime controversy.
Oh yeah.
I I can't tell if that was before or after Good Burger, but off the top of my head here. But yeah, no, I 100% understand that because that's why I don't eat at Hardee's. Something about Hardee's just doesn't feel right to me.
That's something, and I do understand that, and I'm not too sure if you noticed this when my camera was on, but I actually had a bag here from Hardee's. No, I
Oh
don't really,
no!
I don't, and I don't, but that, and have never really eaten at Arby's, with the exception of going, okay, they're curly. I need some curly fries. I need some curly
Okay,
fries.
I'm gonna
That
change
is,
your
I'm pretty sure
life.
they have the same thing. But for a very long time, I'm basically the entire pandemic, I basically been sitting back and going, you know what? If there's something I really want, I'm pretty sure I might as well just make it myself now. How, and very rarely do I ever like order even pizza, because I found out, hey, and I can make really good pizza in my own oven. This is pretty nice. But
Oh,
it is something that does push the believability a little bit. But yeah, again, when with that chaotic ending, with every single thing blowing up, and I am both your mother and your father, on only $8.5 million, I'd say it does a very good job. All right,
oh yeah.
and Demonte, is there anything else you want to discuss about Good Burger?
Um, hmm. Honestly, no. I think we covered the pace. We covered your favorite joke. We covered what you like, what you don't like, what I don't like. My favorite joke. Even some extra ones.
There you
No,
go.
I think that's about it. It's a simple short
Yeah.
movie. If anyone goes out to watch it, just remember to always turn your brain off and put yourself in that 1990s Nickelodeon child brain. Think of the slime itself, and you'll love the movie. Oh, and one more thing. Uh, I'm feel so bad for that teacher. I
Especially at the very end. And
oh
Dexter
no.
just runs up and hands him some money. Hey, and I'll have the rest of the money to you by the end of the summer. I'll pay you. I'll forgive the debt. You just get the burger off my car with all four wheels falling off. Yeah, and if thing is that's actually hilarious when I keep on looking back on it because my brother, he's a huge car guy, and right now his truck, he's had it for almost 8 years, and last night we were basically talking because it actually was his birthday, and he said something that I'd forgotten about, is like, and I'll never forget the thing your ex told me. Let's say for some reason though the wheels fall off of your truck, you're just gonna duct tape them back on and keep on driving until the axle falls off, and you're gonna weld that back on. There is nothing you will not do for that truck, and I think Mr. Wheat is the exact same way. He's like, this car is my life.
Oh yeah, that car was his life. His 70s aesthetic was his life. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that wardrobe.
Was,
when I first started watching, I was like, I wanted to make fun of his wardrobe, but I'm like, you know what? I'm not too sure if this is just the way it's supposed to be. But then Dexter goes, "Hey, I'm worried about you. Look at those clothes you're wearing. You are just. That's just. I'm concerned for you too." And then it's like, "All right, Dexter, you go home. Now I won't see you for another 3 months. Oh, I gotta see you before then."
We'll see.
All right, so Demonte.
Oh, go ahead.
Actually, wait, you first because I already asked the question. My bad for interrupting.
Oh no, you're fine. I was just gonna say, I feel bad for him because honestly, at the beginning, he was honestly just looking out for a student that he knew had potential, and he was worried about his student. And then all this just happens because he's just being an adult. He has to just be the one adult in the movie, and it feels so bad. Not only the car, but the mailbox too. No, man.
He was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. That's just two times in the same freaking day. It's like, oh my gosh, my mailbox got ruined by some crazy, I don't know, some sports team guys who have way too much money. You know what? To make myself feel better, I'm gonna go over and get myself a gigantic burger where the meat is just way too cheap for some reason, and then the giant burger whole place blows up and it falls over and just go. All right, man. Let's face it. Today you rolled a 1, and you rolled a 1.
Let me quote another cringeable quote from him. However, I'm gonna go have my lunch at Mondo Burger, home of the Big Booty Burger. I can't believe that was a line in that movie.
I can't believe that happened. Oh gosh. Ugh.
And he literally goes out the door singing the Big Booty Burger. And then I was like, oh my goodness, what a movie. But yeah, that's honestly it. It's a good movie for anyone. Honestly, anyone who's willing to turn off their brain and have some fun for a little bit.
And I will say, and I actually do very much agree with you there. It is something you really need to say, okay, I'm not here to learn something. I'm not here for something better. I'm not here for something that's horrible. I want something that's gonna make me feel nostalgic for the 90s, and also make me look back and go, well, at the very least, I know people be crazy. I know people be crazy, and people named Kurt should not run burger joints without at least being told, look, you don't have to be the biggest person in the world. There's always going to be someone who makes a little a little bit more cash than you. It happens, but it's not something you're going to be able to help. Plus, let's face it, you probably do look very weird naked.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. So for next time, I'm actually pretty sure I'm the one who is supposed to be doing the trading, even though next time we will actually be discussing the first season of Better Call Saul, the AMC a spin-off of the Breaking Bad series, which I thought Demonte would like very well, but so far he's only on the 4th episode. Come on, man.
4th episode? Takes backseat to me sleeping and work, honestly.
Sleep is for other people.
You know what? You're right.
I'm joking, man.
Can I say, I will say my favorite character so far, though, has to be the gatekeeper. I don't think they say his name, but I love that guy. That guy is hilarious to me. Don't know why. It's just the interaction between them. Oh, his name is Jonathan Banks. Stills the shit for him and Saul's little chemistry there.
Oh yeah, they have some great some great chemistry there. But save it for next time. But because you traded good burger to me, I actually have one more thing I need to trade you. And I've actually been thinking upon this because there's 3 things I've been wanting to look back over. 1, ReZero. B, because the second season is right about to end. 2, the game Limbo, because I have that on my PC and I haven't played it yet. And the film Death of Stalin, which looking back on is way funnier than it has any right to be, and points out that people don't really know what happened when Stalin was not exactly fighting Hitler. So I think I shall hand over to you who to watch the Death of Stalin. I'm pretty sure right now it is on Netflix, where almost no one has an actual Russian accent in the film, because let's face it, a Russian accent is very difficult. You know this is a fake Russian accent. But let's face it, if I was talking like this the whole time, I can still play the character. I can still be Stalin.
You just got to really talk a little bit like this.
Talk a very little bit like this. It is not a good idea.
Hold on, let's see if I can do it. You want to deal with my master? That's about as good as I get.
Okay, burn it down. I'm coming to your house, Demonte. I'm ripping your PC out and burning it. I think you've been on the internet too long. You've been there too long.
Oh, one thing you'll learn: my accents are something to behold.
Unique. Unique.
It's something. But all right. Let me get that title one more time so I can remember it.
The Death of Stalin. And the reason I actually decided with the Death of Stalin is because it actually was snubbed for the Oscars, and right now the Oscars are actually I'm actually pretty sure they are doing the award ceremony next week, and I am dreading it because you sit down and go, oh, and here are the films that not only nobody saw when it was beamed directly into their own homes.
I would have to say,
they didn't even.
I'm hoping. I don't know what the nominees are. I don't follow the Oscars because it offends me.
It offends you
sometimes. Nah, it's not like very bad or offensive or anything. I just don't go out of my way because, like you said, no one's watched it, but it won somehow.
You're not wrong, but again, they are just they have like a 50-50 chance of actually picking the classics for a best picture. For example, the Godfather and the Godfather Part 2 and Lawrence of Arabia, people still watch those today. But who in the modern age really thinks Driving Miss Daisy is still a great film? And I also include The Green Book in that description, because I cannot remember much about that film besides it was a reverse Driving Miss Daisy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And when it comes to things like horror or sci-fi, they just don't care, because Blade Runner, Lost, it's still foundational to this day. Star Wars, super foundational. Lost, 2001: A Space Odyssey wasn't even nominated. And Alfred Hitchcock won 0 Oscars in his life, and he was a great director. And Stanley Kubrick won one Oscar. Do you want to know what it's for?
What is it for?
Special effects.
Oh my god!
On 2001: A Space Odyssey. Now, to be fair, the special effects for 2001: A Space Odyssey are still very great, but it is not something that the film is very good. Well, it's not. I'm not saying it's not very good at special effects. It's not the focus of the film. They are just so. And plus, a while ago, I'm pretty sure they wanted either Black Panther or to win, or what was it? There was Black Klansman as well, and the Green Book did win. But yeah, again, I'm pretty sure I'm simply ranting on and going, okay, Oscars, you're not sitting back and going, I want to know which one of these films is truly the best. I want to know which one of these films they're just picking the films that get them the most brownie points, that makes them look the best without having to admit it's something hard. Like, hey, you know what? I'm pretty sure there's some bad stuff in our history, but we can fix it. It's all, no, there's nothing bad in our history. We just gotta forget about it. Or at the very worst, the World War II film. Just the World War II film.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and the sad part is, they see that the same exact things happen in video games. Like, for example,
not wrong.
What won Game of the Year I guess you can say this year, last year. I don't know how to describe that. Last of Us 2, 100% did not deserve to get a clean sweep or get Game of the Year.
No.
It did not. I don't know if you know of that game, Thomas, but I've
heard of it.
Honestly offensive to both movie directors, to both writers, game designers, everything, of how bad it is. And yet, because of some critics were, in my opinion, a little bit paid off on the things they said, because it is Sony, and we'll go off on the how Sony's reviews has to have good reviews. But the writing is offensive if you've ever played The Last of Us 1 compared to that.
But
like, oh my jeez.
But Ellie, she's an L. She's a lesbian. That means she's a great character.
Oh no, that's not the issue. Well, you know what? Have you played the first Last of Us?
I have played the first Last of Us, but yeah, again, I haven't finished it, but I have watched it, because the whole time I'm like, these controls are a bit clunky. But yes, I have finished it. I know how it ends.
I might have to save this for an episode, but we might have to find someone who has a good summary of Last of Us and just talk about Last of Us 2 and just talk about it on here.
All right, that's fair. That's fair.
So who has a good overarching story, and see if you have a different opinion from what you see from what I see, because I'm curious on how a director would tackle this, and then we can discuss on how we would change it. I think that'd be interesting, right?
Yeah, that does sound very fair. But yeah, again, I'm pretty sure this podcast is starting to go a bit long. So let's go ahead and end it so we can talk off recording. So with that, Demonte, let's go ahead and bid everyone listening adieu, and we'll see you next time, Space Cowboy.
See you next time, Space Cowboy.